People say all the time, I'd die for my kids. Okay. But would you live for them? Actually live? Get yourself healthy? Make better choices? Eliminate distractions? Would you lead them more intentionally? Would you get sober? Take better care of yourself, physically and mentally. You'd only have to die once. Your kids don't need you to die for them. They need you to live. Welcome to the Domestic Dad Podcast. I'm Nick Barnett, founder of the Domestic Dad Project, a brand that strives to create a community that breaks the stigma around dads reaching out for help to get their lives on track and become better fathers. I've been a father since I was 18 years old. I'm also a trauma survivor, an alcoholic, divorced, happily remarried, proud, hardworking, humbled by life domestic dad. I always knew I had a difficult relationship with alcohol because of the strain that it put on me and my family's lives. It took me until I was 39 years old to actually admit that I was an alcoholic. I've spent the last 21 years failing forward. I've lost family and friends to many tragic accidents, but none more tragic than addiction. This podcast is for dads that tread through the day-to-day issues of the world that are compounded by addiction, dividing our time between work, kids' events, family time, connecting with our children, healthy activities with our friends, going on dates with our wives, financial struggles, and everything else that needs to be balanced in our lives. Whether you know it or not, we've all met somebody at some point who struggled, who's had too much weight on their shoulders and didn't know how to talk about it. They probably didn't think there was a real issue until it was too late. So often, I would default to ignoring, drinking, or medicating through it. Those are difficult trends to break without help. In the beginning of that journey, we're hardwired to suck it up and just handle it ourselves. The truth is, there's a community of people who are here waiting for you to join them. You may have wanted to help somebody else and just didn't know where to point them. Point them here. I built this podcast because having conversations with anyone, especially strangers, is hard. This is a place you can come, listen, and hopefully find inspiration, or at the very least, community. And for those trying to get sober, programs like Alcoholics Anonymous or rehab, detox facilities, state-funded programs, and counselors that you just aren't ready to share with are uncomfortable places to start. So start here. I'll go first. In the wake of COVID-19, I was working from home. I had developed a regular, lifelong relationship with alcohol that had gotten stronger than it ever was before. I had lost a lifelong friend, unexpectedly. I was really struggling with purpose and mortality. I started spiraling with what I thought was like normal, casual social drinking to something more toxic. It was fueled by confusion, anxiety, depression, self-deprecation. I was slipping to what I know now was addiction. I knew it, my family knew it, and it was a serious health concern. My body was starting to show signs that it had enough, but I allowed my mental health to be affected the most. With no common knowledge of how to deal with that, how to treat it, or more importantly, just admit it. I remember realizing I was in the pit of addiction when day after day, week after week, and sadly month after month, I couldn't leave the house without planning a stop at the gas station to grab a few shooters so I could slam them before I got home, just to continue the buzz. Or making up reasons to go to the grocery store just to make an unnecessary food purchase to bury a bottle of booze or wine in my cart so I could stash backup bottles around the house. Only to wake up in the middle of the night, parched with a glass of vodka disguised as water sitting on my nightstand so I could get through the next few hours without getting sick, just to get hit with another devastating hangover that left me with debilitating heartburn, bloating, vomiting, and shaking so bad that I couldn't write an email, send a text, or complete a sentence without stuttering over words. All while attempting to hide it from my wife, my kids, my parents, my in-laws, my coworkers, everyone, and coming up with reasons in my head that every single person in the world was against me, and I was the victim. Looking back at the way addiction stained my days and nights, stole time from me, my wife, my kids. It left me embarrassed and ashamed. Because of this, I struggled with the pit of mental health in some of the darkest ways that you can imagine. But I fought my way out with the help of community resources, life-changing coaches, mentors, pastors, and raw willpower. Since then, I've embarked on an unbreakable journey into sobriety and a life that has changed in the greatest ways possible. There's not one goal I've set for myself that I haven't had the confidence to really go for, most of which I've achieved. Today, I feel great when I wake up in the morning. I'm productive with my work. My 40-year-old body feels great. I'm present with my family and friends. I sleep through the night. I don't have the fear of dying from my disease. I no longer doubt my value to my family, and I know I have a meaningful future. If those are things that you want for yourself, tune in. My mission here is to share the resources that work for me with you in the form of candid interviews and conversations around journeys into sobriety. But that's not all. I'll also tackle the sheer delight and trials of parenting, sharing practical tips, heartfelt anecdotes, and expert advice to help you navigate the incredible privilege of raising children and being the glue that not only allows your family to survive, but more importantly, thrive. Because you're worth it. You have value in this world. There's a bright future for you here. And there is a son or daughter that needs and wants a meaningful relationship with you. My hope is that you'll subscribe to this podcast and it inspires you to join our growing community. You can get more information on our website, www.domesticdadproject.com. There you'll find more information on our brand, but also you'll find t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, things like that. They act as a catalyst to break the stigma around dads reaching out for help, to get their lives back on track and become better fathers. You can also join us on Facebook. Just open it up, hit that little search bar, and type in Domestic Dad Project. And then look for the button that says like or follow. Hit that. So grab a mop and let's start cleaning up the mess.